welcome to Chemical Harmony Creations, Episode 2. Today we will be talking about music. My music journey, how I was indoctrinated into music by my dad. And he did the good thing by teaching us a solid base of music. Mainly just stuff he liked. Claudine Clark's Party Lights. It was a doo-wop track from the 1950s. 60s Beatles to Kansas, Into the Doors, and Jimi Hendrix. The 50s, 60s, and 70s. Some 80s songs, but not many. And really had just gotten introduced to my own music in 7th grade. The grunge era hit me right in my pre-adolescent stage.
Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God. I don't know, but the day seems kinda...
You have everybody. Eminem was my number one favorite artist when I graduated high school. I had a chain.
Oh, you mad because I'm sound.
I literally had a chain with a little tiger. Oh my God, I can't. There's so many groups that came out in that era that were so impactful to my life. Beastie Boys. There's so many people. I could name a million groups. I got planted in a right, perfect time for music. Right there at the tail end of 96 to 2000. That was a simpatico. A tour de force of artistic talent came from 96 to 2000. Holy crap, The Matrix came out within that time. There are so many amazing groups that came out during that time. By 99, 2000, I had no time in my life for electronic music. I liked certain electronic music. I liked Fatboy Slim. I liked Chemical Brothers. I liked The Crystal Method. I liked Prodigy. But dance music,
go away, I don't wanna talk today.
Didn't have time for dance music.
Go away, no.
I see a rap, motherfucker!
Someone left a Bad Boy Bill Volume 3 CD at my house.
What?
Someone left a Bad Boy Bill Volume 3 CD at my house. And that CD changed my life. That music infected me. And it led me to parties and shows. And it introduced me to my friends. And it introduced me to my hobbies, my crafts. It affected everything. It affected my life. It affected my the people I hung out with. It affected the clothes I wore. It affected how I saw myself. It taught me how to talk to other people. It's beautiful, but it's important. So, how did I start writing music? How did that even happen? Now we've seen the journey. We saw how I became abducted by the light. Hanging out at a friend's house, John Rushton. I'm saying his name loud and proud because John Rushton is the reason why I started writing music. We were all hanging out at his house, and he had GarageBand. And he introduced me to GarageBand, and he showed me how he could take these loops of all these different things and create a song on top of it, and then sing on top of that song. And he played his little guitar, he played his piano part. He just showed me the basics of writing a song. And from that point on, I became obsessed. Obsessed with writing songs that way. I didn't know anything about music. Nothing. I saved up money, bought a $300 computer. I went over to a friend's house. I got him to copy the Reason 2.1 or whatever onto the computer illegally. And then I wrote with Reason for about a year before getting Ableton. I never learned how to play an instrument or anything because, I don't know, for me, it never was like playing an instrument. it was like drawing inside the computer. It's really hard to describe. I was drawing music. I mean, I was. I didn't know how to write music, but I would scale it out because it has all these graphs. I'd scale it out, and then you could just literally draw in the notes, and that's what I do. I mean, that's how I wrote all my songs. I just figured it out. I just lay out the bars, and I wrote, towards the end, I was writing really complex things. All that same way, with no music knowledge, none. Zero music knowledge. I just heard it in my head and transferred it on. I just drew it out, just the same way I do it now. And that propelled me throughout my entire career, just writing that way, just figuring it out. Once I got Ableton, that's when I really started writing music. That's when the songs really started to come forward. I was able to understand like how to flow a track, and so I was living with my friend Kevin. Kevin showed me how to use Ableton. Kevin taught me how to write tracks, like lay out a drum beat like this, and he's the one that got me on my feet and held me, until the training wheels came off and I could actually just write a track by myself. So I credit him to a lot. So Kevin got me on the track. I started writing songs, and then we started collaborating songs eventually after about another year. He took these songs that we first did, like these first 10 songs. He started sending them out. I didn't even know he did that. So he sent them out to all the people he liked. And so he sent it out to Mc Lars.
Everybody's talking about the good old days.
Now in my younger days I wore a hunting cap with the red and black flaps and the brim turned back.
And Mc Lars wrote it back, which was a huge deal, saying, I like your songs. Who wrote that? Who wrote those songs? I want to work on those songs because that is what I like them. And that, for him and I, that was like the biggest deal ever. Because here's a person who's literally already established, looking at just random tracks and being like, hey, who wrote that? That's, and that's the thing is, we never did it for any reason. It wasn't like, oh, we just thought oh, these are cool songs, whatever. It really was like, whatever. No dreams of aspiration, just whatever. And that's what it dialed it up, though. Because it went from just a thing that we enjoy doing to oh, somebody likes this. And that's where it started. And it started to build that way. And so we started working on tracks for him. We started writing songs for ourselves. And we started meeting people. We started playing out. Started going places. And over the years, Kevin and I started to play festivals, and things were moving, actually moving. Now, put it into perspective. I'm not blowing smoke up, right? We were not on the level that you feel, okay? Not like Skrillex stuff. This isn't, the levels we're talking about are great for individuals who literally come from nothing, and we have no music background. There is nothing that is pushing us, whatever. And it was a big deal because we started ending up on subsidiaries of major labels. People started actually listening. We were getting support from other DJs in other countries, and it started to feel good because the tracks that we were writing, and so we wrote breaks tracks that people like playing, people in other countries. And then that moved on. We kind of took a step back. We did a couple festivals. We did this Cornerstone a couple times, and then I had my own personal issues. Kevin and I we didn't drift apart as friends per se, but we went off to do solo projects. He went off and he explored podcasting, and he started doing his own thing in F1 racing. And I started moving this way. And I started doing my own kind of music and my own kind of group, right? So at first I was using Brother Brooks. Brother Brooks was just something that I created because, you know, I'm a brother of two sisters who are older than me. So I'm our Brother Brooks. That's how I say it. But it also had kind of like a slightly like weird spiritual meaning too at the time. But I did Brother Brooks for a while. Brother Brooks got me far. Brother Brooks, I was kind of a dumb to get rid of Brother Brooks, honestly, because Brother Brooks was really popular. And that scared me. I don't know why. I wrote 14 songs with a very bad part of my life. And that became my album, Salt Symphony. And it was all down-tempo breaks. Completely different than anything I'd ever done before. I was doing just straight up breaks with 808s and whatever. And this was totally different. This was pianos and instruments and lots of effect. And everything was slowed down. And it was more me. And I started writing like that for a long time. For about 2 or 3 years, I was writing down-tempo music, and I really enjoyed it. Those are some of my favorite stuff. The stuff I did kind of like in the beginning, because I wasn't affected by the scene at that point. Kevin and I were following this podcast by the Young Punks in the UK. This really popular podcast, and they had this. The Young Punks had this competition. Wasn't even a competition. They just released all their samples from their newest album and saw what people could do with them. And they released all their vocals. So I took one song, Never Die. And I heard the vocals and I said, I could write a song on top of that. And so I did. I wrote a fantastic song on that. And I really love that song, no lie. I love the music from that song. It's one of my most proud songs that I've written. I sent them the track. And I was like, what do you think? I didn't hear anything back. Nothing. I didn't hear anything. I was like, okay. Well, I like it. Sure. And so I'm listening to their podcast about 3 weeks later, and they play my song on their podcast. And they announce my name. And then they send me an email. And they were like, we really like this song. We want to include it on a mix of multiple tracks from our label that people have remixed. And it's going to be on there. And I was like, awesome. That song, they ended up playing on Big Beat in Germany. They ended up playing it on Radio 1. I saw nothing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. After that, I wrote another song, and it got supported by Judge Julie. So at that point, I got paranoid because I thought my name was too close to Brooks Brothers, too famous for me to ever even try. So I changed my name to Wretched. Why Wretched? I wanted the meanest sounding, most god-awful, aggressive, angry DJ name. Wretched sounded great to me at the time. In electronic music, it was like fashionable to be aggressive. This was the time of electro house, complextro. It was very angry sounding. They had something called chainsaw electro. I mean, like, we're talking angry music. I mean, just some angry sounds, right? So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be angry in your face, you know, like in your face, like that kind of thing. In your face, I will kill you. I will kill you. It was the time of Daft Punk. Skrillex, Deadmau5. It was the time of characters. Yeah. That's when I decided to move to Austin because I thought, look at me. I'm about to be the next Skrillex. I'm moving to Austin, Texas. So I did. I moved to Austin. I did not become the next Skrillex. I got a rude awakening. A rude awakening. Move to Austin, Texas. Think that you're great in something, and you will get a rude awakening by the art scene there. That you are not great at what you think you are, and there are far superior people than you. Okay, social media was popular at this time, but it wasn't popular enough for you to find out that you are not as great as you think you are, and there are some great people. And Austin showed me that there are some great people. Wow, the talent in Austin was next level. The DJs in Austin were next level. The scratching in Austin was next level. The everything in Austin was, the drugs in Austin were next level. The people in Austin were too intense. I didn't last it. I couldn't do it. It wasn't my scene. And I quickly realized that wasn't my aim. I didn't want to become a superstar DJ. I wanted to be a producer. I didn't want to be a superstar DJ. I didn't want it. I didn't want it like that. And I wasn't that kind of person. I can't fake that. I don't know. Some people can. I guess you can put on a mask and it's easier. People who put on masks as DJs, I think, are basically like people like me who don't want to fake it. They don't want to be like, yeah, yeah. They want to just put on a mask and be like, you know, because it makes sense. Like they have the mask on. They don't have to be like, yeah, yeah. Like, oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. That energy. Well, and so at this time in my music, I am signing tracks with different people. At this time, I'm working with Kick It Recordings, and they're really cool people. They're really nice people. They were good. Man, they were really good. Really good. They write really good music. And I met a lot of great people through them. And a lot of the things I was doing were just on the computer, you know, online, I don't know what my aim was. I really don't. I mean, I was just so satisfied with writing my songs. And then I worked with Andrew some more, or Mc Lars. I worked with Andrew some more, and Mega ran, and I wrote this song for them, and they performed. They couldn't clear the samples because it was a B.B. King song.
You know you done me wrong, baby, and you'll be sorry someday.
Anyway, it was a B.B. King song that you're never going to get the samples for, because, I mean, and that's how it went. I think the real change for me was I got disillusioned with music. I didn't know where to go with it. I didn't know how to make money off of it. And I was going through a lot of personal issues in my life. So I was writing music more like therapy than making money. I had some accolades. I mean, I had some things happen for me that were really cool. Kevin and I had a song that ended up becoming a commercial for G4's American Ninja with Andrew. And it was sick. I mean, I got paid to do a song, and it was used as a commercial on G4 for American Ninja. That was awesome. I mean, it was really cool. And, I mean, music just, towards the end, I mean, towards 2018, and I just kind of like, this is it, you know? I'd done all I could do with it personally, because I didn't want it. Like, I didn't want it. I didn't have it in me to keep going. And I'll tell you why. Because music at its heart, was for anything. It always was going to be this best friend. It was never going to be me. Because I just couldn't grab onto it like I can with art. It's here. It's here. Art is here. I taste it. I feel it. I cry it. Fucking love it. Yeah. Music, it was a progression. I mean, it started out as nothing. It started out as something very important to me in my life. And then it became something I could actually touch and feel. And I could create. And I could tell a story with. And then it got too attached. Now the music is attached to people who aren't here anymore. So I can't really do it. Like, I don't have it in me. Maybe I will one day. But, you know, I just don't have it in me. I don't have it in me like art. I don't have anything left to say right now in music. I've written a lot of tracks. I wrote these songs 15 years ago. I wrote them 10 years ago. I wrote them 8 years ago, 7 years ago. They're old. These songs, I mean, this life I'm talking about is in my 20s and 30s. You know, I'm 43 years old. It's been a while since I've even opened the program. The last time I even touched Ableton was 2018. And after I finished my album and it came out, my little 4 EP, whatever, my last track, my last song, the last ones, I had one in there, Shogun. It was my #1 song of all time. It's my favorite song. And after writing Shogun, I didn't need to write anything. I thought I said it all. I got it completely perfect in that song. I wouldn't change a fucking note. I wrote every bit of it, every note, every guitar part, everything. The only other samples you hear are Shogun Assassin samples. That's it. And I'm telling a story through that. Through music, I'm telling the story of Shogun Assassin through my lens, through my music. You know? And after writing that song, I felt like I didn't need to write music anymore. Because I was like, that's it. And it really was putting something together, laying something to rest. After I put out my last EP, I deleted all my programs. I deleted every single sample that I had, and I had 2 terabytes of samples after 8 years left in it. And I deleted all of it because I don't ever know. And that's when I started drawing. Was right there. Right there. Started drawing right there. And I've never stopped from that point. That is my music journey. Thank you for joining me on episode 2 of Chemical Honey. We will be back next week for another episode. So, stay safe. Stay humble.